IVF and miscarriage, both are like a very deadly combination. People always think that IVF is directly proportional to miscarriage, but it is not the truth. Obviously, what happens when like a biochemical pregnancy comes, the topic comes in, because you have a beta HCG positive, then what happens, it subsequently starts dropping. So obviously for the patient it is a miscarriage, but the patient has to understand that if he or she would have tried naturally, they don't know how many cycles have dropped like this with the beta HCG coming positive and subsequently the patient getting periods. But since this time they are being monitored, so they are knowing that okay, look, it's positive and then it is negative, and we need to monitor it, believe me, because IVF, because when we put embryos in it, we need to monitor our embryos, where those embryos have gone, where they are implanted. So obviously the total number of miscarriages that is happening in the IVF cycle is much more than what is happening in a natural conception. It's not because it is truly much more, it is because those are more monitored cycles. Means you can say that if you are monitoring 100 patients for COVID, you are testing them, then you can say all 100 patients staying in a simple community are being tested. You say like, oh, look, 50 are positive in that. If in a similar community only you have tested 10 people and in that 2 is positive, you say, look, it is less. No, but it is not exactly less, because you have not monitored all of them. So basically natural conceptions are not monitored that much as IVF conceptions are monitored. So you come to know more about it, so you say the miscarriage rate is more. Secondly, if there is like you have a gestational sac, it has miscarriaged, or you have a cardiac activity, it has miscarriaged. So now coming to the main point, what do we need to look up? What do we need to do for the next pregnancy? That is the biggest question. The patient will come and ask that whether same thing is going to happen in the next pregnancy or not. So in that case, we need to look up 2 things. One is the embryo, because that was responsible, it was put in the cavity. And then the uterine cavity. The uterine cavity is basically the transporter, it is the incubator which will like grow the baby inside and leads to its delivery. So for testing the embryos, we need to like test, and the embryos are made up of eggs and sperm. So we need to sit back and relook whether there was any problem with the egg or sperm. So was the egg and sperm responsible for this miscarriage? If it was responsible for this miscarriage, then what can we do for it? If the embryos are good, they are grade A embryos, no fragmentation, no degeneration in them, then obviously we can look up to PGT also. PGT is a technique like pre-implantation genetic technique that gives us an edge. In that what happens, many embryos which are looking good, because you are only seeing the embryos, the embryologist is seeing the embryos and seeing that okay, it is good. So in that PGT at least you can do see it genetically whether they are good or not. So these genetically abnormal embryos also, they also don't lead to pregnancy. They also lead to recurrent pregnancy loss, whether it be naturally or whether it be an IVF cycle. Secondly, coming up to sperm selection. So the sperms are selected like normally, they are selected, the embryologist is seeing the sperms and the embryologist is selecting the sperms, and then he is putting those sperms in the eggs. But what happens, we can really change the sperm selection technique. We have got several protocols, like we can use MAX, we can use Qualis. These are sperm sorter techniques. In these more viable sperms who are going to give you more viable babies, they can be sorted out and they can be only put in those eggs which will be making good embryos. So these sperm sorter techniques that have been of latest advances, they definitely reduce your miscarriage rates. So now obviously if the embryos that you are going to put inside have been like scrutinized by doing these kind of technique, the sperm has been scrutinized, eggs have been scrutinized by seeing, because okay, it's the M2 sperm egg, it is not fragmented, it is not degenerated. So you are putting those sorted sperms on this. So obviously it is going to give you an edge, it is going to give you more good embryos. Those embryos also you can take for PGT. So like you are closing it, like you are sealing it, maximum you can do in the lab. Now secondly, coming to your incubator, the incubator means the uterus. So for that you need to recheck your uterus. So we can do scanning for them, we can do hysteroscopy for them if needed to see what is the minutest problem. But definitely we don't do all these tests as a basic modality, because if basically we are like testing all the patients for everything, it becomes very economically distressing for the patient and physically also. So patients who have one cycle failure, we definitely try them to take them off for like the basic test. We try to do the advanced test like any patient is coming, and definitely then the miscarriage rates do dip off. If we are doing PGT for the patients, if we are doing this all the hysteroscopy for the patient, and we are testing for everything, and then definitely we can just screen out those patients and tell. But believe me, after doing all this also, IVF does have, it is not 100%. So you have to be like, you have to take all the precautions, you have to follow all the guidelines, and you have to get everything screened, because you're getting an IVF cycle done and you have to be always on your alert. This information is being given to you because it is very essential that whenever you undergo an IVF cycle, you should know about all the pros and cons of it. We are giving you this information because of that. Please be with us. We care about you.